before we get into problem 1.5, I just created a video, this practice video without any sound. So I'm going to go ahead and post that because if you haven't noticed, it doesn't bother me to make mistakes, find corrections, make fixes. Um, the no sound videos are kind of interesting in that you're watching and you're not distracted by me talking. So there is some value in it. I'll go ahead and put it out there if you're interested in watching some of those. So I am going to take what I learned from that video and not make the same mistakes, but mistakes are bound to happen. All right, so I do have a thank you for the call out that when I was messing around with this dimension, doing the horizontal and vertical in 1.2, the geometry, and I think I already corrected it and probably saved it, but it's okay. We'll go through the process again. Keep in mind if you realize that there was an error that you made, fumbled the numbers, any of those types of things, we can very quickly go back and change it by double clicking on the sketch, finding the geometry, and let's make up a number. This one actually did come out to the 70,039 with the correct 36. So let's say that I needed that to be 30. The point is that you can make that adjustment, but until you do a rebuild, it's not going to change. All right, so I can change that any way I want. The main thing is that it's a conscious decision. It doesn't just change by itself. Fully defined sketches require that you go identify that dimension, double click on it, modify it, rebuild it, and then when we get to our mass properties, we will see the new value. All right, so thanks again for that. And oh, it was okay, so don't need to save it. All right, so we're going to take a look at 1.5. This is an optional. Again, we're picking problems that if you are working towards the CSWA exam, the recommendation is you do all of these. There will be videos for all of them. Mess ups included. So we're in inch, pounds, and seconds. Part's origin is located where indicated at the tip of the hexagon. The part is symmetric, so across the x-axis, all sketches are fully defined. We're going to use lines, center lines, arcs, circles, and polygon with an extruded boss, and then of course the polygon. All right, so the thing that I assumed in the no sound video, if you watch it, is that this line passes through. There's a little bit of a gap there though. I know, so I really wanted it to be there so much that I drew it in and then I had to go back and fix it. So it is an interesting watch to see how to, where things can get deleted, what relations are available. All right, so this geometry for the outside perimeter of the circle goes from the tip 0.4 to the line and then 0.25 back to the center line that's going to locate the perimeter circle. All right, so we're back into a maker part inch. We're in the front plane. All right, so when I'm choosing the planes based on their view, assuming that the isometric is correct, the front plane is going across the back, right plane is going through the origin this way, and the top plane is bisecting the body. All right, so front plane, well, since I clicked out of it, we'll just go ahead up here to the command manager and hit sketch, and that puts it in place. All right, so for my polygon, I'm just going to make sure that it is six-sided. It's showing me the inside dimension as 0.5, so we will make sure. I was looking for the tooltip on that one. All right, so I'm going to point out that putting in a value in the parameters will give you the dimension, but as soon as you drag it, it's something else. All right, so those numbers don't stay. If you entered everything, had everything, all of the numbers there, and entered them, you would get it there, but it still would not be fully defined. So, point being, don't waste your time putting in parameters. All right, I got something close. I'm going to grab the endpoint here, make it coincident, and then I'm not quite sure. Well, let's do the dimension first. So 0.5. I like the inscribed circle is fine. It would be the same as going from line to line, or point to point, or point to line, whichever, if you really needed to use any of those. All right, so I'm going to right click and go to select or escape on the keyboard. And by dragging and seeing what the result is, that's going to tell me what I need to do to get this geometry defined. All right, so we could go any one of these points to the origin and make those horizontal, or pick the line and make it horizontal. So I'm just going to go from the center point to the origin. Those points become horizontal, and that gives me the geometry. All right, so the circle, we'll go ahead and put that in, put a dimension on it, and see if I can get far enough away to get away from the linear. All right, so the 0.8, let's escape, get out of the dimension again, and we'll bring that over a little closer. So it's still be able to move up and down. The point is highlighted, so it is selected. I can hold down the control button, control select the origin, make that horizontal, and that will give me the geometry. All right, so I wanted to go to this point. I assumed that the vertex here would give me that geometry, and then I went back and looked at the dimensions and realized, yeah, that was pretty bad. All right, so I'm looking to make those verticals. These are able to move. Well, I guess it did grab something there, so it went coincident to something. All right, well, since it moves together, which I am surprised, I was going to go through the relations. So we go point to point, that would be vertical. A line and a point is coincident, and the two lines are collinear. All right, but since it's there, I'm not going to mess with it. I know it's one of those dots, the coincident that is driving that. So going from the origin to the line gives me the 0.4. All right, construction lines then. Let's center line, construction line, same thing. So this is clicked for construction, even though we just selected a center line. Don't ask me. That's the way it's always been. So I'm looking to be coincident with the top of the polygon and the bottom of the polygon. And then from that line back to the center line, we can go 0.25. All right. And it found the center of the circle, so we'll keep that. I have to go back and watch the video to figure out how I inferred those. This time it inferred. If it did not, we're going to select and control select the center line and make those a midpoint. So when I say that it really, I very rarely would draw the same object the same way twice. It's a lot to do with the way the software works. All right, so I'm getting into the center line, and I would like it to be horizontal and infinite length. Infinite length just means that I'm not ever going to run out of center line. All right, so I place it, and then we go back to select, and it did this my practice time. So when you have a center line that you know that you dropped on the origin, just left click on it, drag it away. It forces it to solve, and when it figures it out, then it's good. So last time we did this, I got a tangent. So let's go ahead and see how it jumps to tangent. So I really want to drop this a little bit away from the circle, or start on the opposite end and bring it back to the circle before I try to find the coincidence. All right, so that missed on horizontal. We'll just jump over here and apply it. And then we'll go with a mirror. So the mirror, if I pre-select, I can pick the object or the center line, hold down the control, pick the other. And if we go mirror entities, we get that instantaneously. If there's more geometry or it's difficult to select, then we can go mirror entities, pick the entity to mirror and the object to mirror about. All right, so this also gives us the ability to uncheck the copy. Just be aware that any relations and dimensions that you applied may not be applied to the new opposite geometry. So let's go ahead and accept that. We'll put in the 3.25. And we have a distance of 0.4. All right, so the iterative part of this is that we're putting in geometry, seeing how it works, see what numbers I managed to mess up, fumble in, and then do the checks as we go along and pick our geometry. So the previous, we showed, I'll still do the trim, but the previous I showed just drawing the circle over here and trimming out the two lines. So actually, in the order that I'm posting this, the next video without sound will have that geometry. So I'm going to go with the center point arc this time. And we're going to place the center, drag out to one of the endpoints, and drag to the other endpoint. All right, so if it doesn't go the right way for you, just keep dragging until it gives you a desired result. All right, so I want to get out of the arc. The endpoints are in black, so those are fully defined. And I'm going to go with the select control select and make those equal. All right, because this is an arc this time, it's automatically going to go to radius, but just want to point out that if you need it to be a diameter, you can right click. Let's see if I'm trying to do a little more. Yeah, I can just do the left click and not have all of the other fun stuff. Display as radius, display as diameter. I do have a habit of right clicking, obviously. So let's go ahead back into the polygon. We're looking for that, what would amount to coincident, but it comes down to concentric between the 2 points. And then we'll drag out to that point, and I will find the inscribed circle again, 0.5. And let's just go with horizontal on one of the edges. All right, so what I was saying about trim, or what I will be saying about trim, is power trim will, everything that the trim tool crosses goes away. Corners would trim out the geometry based on the selection, trim away the inside, trim away the outside. All that's too complicated. If I'm going to trim, I will just go ahead and pick the geometry. So this leaves an interior region that I can go back and work with. So it picked opposite this time. So maybe because this was an arc. All right, but that gives me the geometry. The trade-off between trimming and the complexity over here, trimming sometimes loses relations, dimensions that were applied to the trim geometry, even though it shouldn't. Sometimes it's just better to leave it and pick the other regions. But I will still need to select the region because it is just, for whatever reason, pick those two in the sketch. Oh, it also gave me a thin feature. Oh, that's fun. All right, so good. On thin features, we want to be aware of any gaps. And so we're going to start looking for places where I might have missed. And since the I'm not seeing my, let's go back over here. My shaded sketch contours are up. So which one of these? No. Ah, there we go. All right, so one of my obsessions then is with little blue dots, and that would be a good reason why. So let me explain the thin feature. Thin feature says that this geometry cannot be calculated as a full region. So in the very first days of SolidWorks, if you did a thin feature, it was simulating or was the way to make a sheet metal part. So we don't really want this to be sheet metal. So I mentioned in one of the other videos that there are conditions where you will get a thin feature if there is a gap or if the tail overruns. So it only requires a little bit of miss, and I'm zoomed in quite a bit to see that that geometry. All right, so that's why it didn't appear gray when I expected it to. And we just make it coincident. We drag it in and out or do the select control select. And now we'll go in and ask us, and there's no thin feature. If you apply the thin feature, the only way to unapply it is basically to delete the feature, leave the sketch though, and then try again. Make the correction, whatever it was doing, and try again. All right, so 0.3, we'll go ahead and accept that. And then to evaluate, we'll go into the mask properties, drag that in. We have a 0.5492, 0.549. If we really wanted to not override options, we can use custom settings, go up to 4 decimal places, and there is our next decimal place. So just keep in mind that that will stay active until you go back and turn it to the document settings. So if it's something that you wanted to keep, you would be better off changing it out of the inch, pounds, seconds rather than doing it in the mask properties itself. All right, so 1-5 with sound. Let's go ahead and save it and call this one good here.